But I was like, man, am I really going to make this one big final payment that's going to suck? I knew it talking to one of my best friends. He was like, man, just do it. What are you talking about? You've come this far. You're almost done. Just do it. And I just couldn't do it. It took me. But then one day I woke up and I said, bro, like, what are you doing? And I paid it. And instantly I was pissed off that I had paid it because I couldn't stop it. But then like 2 days later when I saw it hit and Sally Mae shot me his email with like confetti. And I remember thinking like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we did it. And like, I remember sitting there at the computer, like tearing up by myself. I didn't tell Christina. Anyway, I remember just thinking like, I've changed something for my family.
I think God also sees what you're doing and blesses that, like makes it multiply. God's a multiplier. He sees your heart, he sees your intent, and he's just like a dad, right? Like he saw what we were praying for, what we were trying to do, and I think God has a lot to do more with it because it is miraculous how quickly things change all of a sudden.
Another episode of Matrimony and Money. Excited for you to join us. My trusty sidekick, Christina, here with me. So, guys, today we're going to talk about something that's very near and dear to us, but it's motivational for a lot of people. Like when we look back at it, it's motivational for us. So many people still ask us when it pops up somewhere, somehow. So we're going to talk about how we paid off $203,000 in 27 months with 3 kids, 2 businesses, just getting it done. So I'm excited about this one because we'll get to, we're starting to get to dive into it because people ask so many questions around that. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you see I'm feeling good. I'm in cool mode today. You can't see you can't see what I'm doing unless you're on YouTube. So go to YouTube, and if you are on YouTube, you see what's going on. So
what are you doing?
Hey, just.
What do you mean they can't see unless they're on YouTube?
You can't see a podcast, so you have to watch it. All right, there we go. All right. So, guys, let's jump right into it. So, before we get started, I want to be crystal clear. When Christina and I decided enough was enough, right? Our income, we sat down, did the numbers, okay, based on our income. Once I finally...
Are you really over that the whole time?
I finally dealt with Sally Mae, got all the numbers. I was depressed a little bit, but nevertheless, I did it. So you have to do it. We're like, okay, how long will this take based on our budget? And it was supposed to take about 5.5 years. And I remember that being freaking depressing. I was just like, man, this is gonna suck. This is gonna be a long journey. However, I knew, short-term sacrifice a lot of times equals long-term success. So we're willing to do it. So we sat down, we came up with a strict budget. We were like, okay, what does our budget look like? How much extra can we put towards the debt each month? So fast forward, we did the math, came up with the numbers again. Guys, I'm sorry, it's been years ago. I can't remember the exact numbers, but
we actually found that budget sheet somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know where it is now, but we'll just play with it. Let's just say
we don't want to ruin
we needed, just say we needed $4,000 per month. I don't know what it was. So everything over $4,000 went strictly to Sally Mae. And that's what we did. So we knew $4,000 was the base number. Everything over was, sort of money in the bank or money to Sally Mae, right? Just to get out from under. And I would say pretty much it just happened after 2 or 3 months. We started this new business because things changed and we started having a little increase from the beginning. I would say it was a little increase. And then sort of like our snowball method, that increase just continued to sort of build and grow and grow and grow. And the next thing that I knew, we were making huge payments on this student debt, which was at a great time as well, because they had paused the student loan interest. So for me, when I was logging in and paying it, that was super motivating because before, if you have student loans now had been passed, you log in, let's just say you pay $500. You're thinking, okay, it's going to go down by $500. But then when you log in and see the interest that eats it up and how much you pay, you're like, oh, that went down by $62, even though I paid them $500. That sucked, right? So for me, I was uber motivated to like get this done because also I didn't know how long they were going to pause the interest. So I was like, well, if I can get this done in, whenever they take it away, that'll be great. But again, I didn't think that would happen because we had already done the math and it was like 5.5 years. I know they weren't going to pause the interest for 5+ years, but I was just willing to get to work, right? So the first thing we did, we lived on a strict budget. We didn't play around, right? We said, okay, strict budget. This is what it is. So I challenge you guys. The first thing you need to do, you need to sit down and know all of your numbers, right? You need to come up with a budget that you are actually going to stick to.
Yeah.
And it's okay. Even for me, like I'm the numbers. It's okay. Like it'll probably take you 2 or 3 months to figure out exactly what it is. Because these things come up, but you need to know what those numbers look like so that if and when you have increase, that money just doesn't go out the door. Because that's the easy thing to really happen. Once you start making more, you just start spending more, Right. So when we were living on the, when we had a super strict budget, what did you think I know what you thought, but how was it from your end? Because on my end, it was all like, I was excited. It was sort of like a game.
Yeah. I was used to the cash envelope system. So that's how I started. I took out all the cash that I could actually spend. And then I worked with the bank and put it into different envelopes. And I was more surprised by the things that I didn't predict, like a flat tire or an oil change. Didn't think I would need an oil change within the first few months. So different unexpected things. That's why he's saying take a couple months or a few months to kind of iron it out what your budget really is, because you have to save for car maintenance. You have to save for an appliance going dead. Obviously you pray and hope that you get blessed, but if you're really preparing for a rainy day and really budgeting, you're budgeting for the, for the unexpected costs that come up with having a family. And if you have pets, a pet and stuff like that. So for me, it was just more surprising to see the things that, after several months that I wasn't prepared for. I wasn't prepared for a nail in the tire. I wasn't prepared for a kid hitting their head on a post and me having to spend extra money on, medical expenses, etc. So, that's what I took away from that, was how shocked I was by.
Because
or like gas, you predict it's going to be something and then you're like, what? How come we're already done and it's only the first 2 weeks of the month? Stuff like that. You grossly underestimate how much you spend.
No, for sure. And I think, I believe that's one of the biggest things why it normally takes a couple of months, because most people, if you've never really tracked your finances, you don't know. Like you assume you
don't,
but you really don't.
You think it's $20 here or $40 there, and then it's like, I could have gone to something else. Like, no. It's not just 40 here and 20 there. It adds up to a lot.
Correct. If you're not tracking your finances, you're spending much more money than you could even imagine. Even if you don't make a ton, you're just spending more money. Because I remember Christina, one of her things was, when we had the cash envelopes, first of all, she was always freaking out about losing one. Well, keep up with it. Don't lose it. But on the other side,
there's better ways now.
My wife, she enjoys spending money, right? However, during that season, there were so many things that she passed up because it feels different when you have to give away the cash and there's nothing else in that envelope. Like, you swiping a card, it's just different. Like when you had those envelopes, I remember you saying, I
remember calling him from stores, like if I was going to get a new like lipstick or something, I'd be like, where's the money go? And having like the list. And that's another thing. Each envelope, I kept a list. So I started, and then I'm like, wait a minute, why are we down to $2. What's going on? So I would have that list for that month, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, did I really spend X amount of money? It was always so disheartening. And being like, can I pull this from the, we don't have a flat tire this month. Can I pull it from the car payment budget? Because, you know, like the car maintenance budget doesn't need to be, but then when something pops off and you need 4 tires and it's like $600, you're going, you know?
And that's one of the big reasons, guys. I know
that was very tempting because it's just cash. It could find its way in another envelope rather easily.
And I think that's one of the things, you know, I know specifically, well, we're on like the whole Dave Ramsey protocol. You save over $1,000 and everything else goes towards the debt to sort of keep you now. If something catastrophic happens, obviously $1,000 isn't going to do anything. But for most people, that $1,000 gets you through. Oh, I got a flat tire. Oh, this happened. That $1,000, so you can still stay on track, pay off your debt. The $1,000 you got to spend $500 of it. Well, you'll replenish that. Yeah. And then you get to stay on track, because if you don't have that little buffer, and what happens is that situation throws off everything for that month, and now you're off track, and it's just, I'll get back on.
Where does it come from?
Correct.
Where does the money come from?
Correct. I'm going to get back on track next month or this month, and then the next thing you know, because I know.
And you're negotiating, putting things back on a credit card. Correct. Hey, this is an emergency. I didn't know that this was going to happen. And now you're back in your cycle again. Well, you yawned a lot during this podcast.
Yeah, I worked a lot. Tired. And, you know, I know that a lot of times when people want to get started, the most difficult thing is to actually just do it, right? Like Nike says, this podcast is sponsored by Nike. No, it's not. But I'm just saying, like, just do it, because I know people, I remember specific people popping in my head right now. I remember because we were sharing our journey with everyone. And the reason I was doing that, for me, it was strictly for accountability purposes. So I wouldn't start this and go, I'm not going to do it. Look, man, you told too many people, bro, you cannot go back on your word. So I was sharing it with everyone. But there's specific people that I remember talking to. They wanted to do it, telling me about their debt and stuff like that, but they just didn't get started. And now, years and years later, we've been debt-free, past that, great time. But they're still living in that cycle. So if that's
a great time, but a time was had.
Hey, it was a great time, great memories. It brought us closer together, made our kids understand.
We only have each other. I couldn't afford to have friends.
Well, hey.
Of course it brings you together. You ain't got nobody else.
But I do believe that, you know, some of the tough choices we had to make, like we had to miss certain things. Like we couldn't go to certain places. You know, we couldn't really go on vacations. Oh no, like we definitely can't go out to eat. But shout out to our friends, right? When you surround yourself with the right people, you know, there's some of our friends invite us to stuff. I'm just going to tell them, man, we're trying to get out of there. Like we cannot go, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, don't worry, show up. I'm going to take care of stuff, right? That was not our intention.
Or it's no offense.
Yeah.
Most of the time it was just no big deal. Yeah,
no big deal. We just tell them we can't go. But I wanted to be totally open and transparent with folks so that, again, kept us accountable. So like, hey, like we just can't afford to go right now. It's not in the budget. We have to pay off this. And I believe that's one of the biggest things that holds people back. They sort of want to hide it and, act like things are better than they are. But at the end of the day,
it is what it is.
It is what it is. People want to see you succeed, your closest friends. So just tell them what you're doing.
I think for a wife, when you see your husband, if you're married and you're struggling, your husband's struggling and he's the breadwinner, when you see that and what it does to him and the family, that's not fun. Like in any season, we can go through like the earlier seasons or now if business is slow or whatever, those are not fun seasons. So for a wife, it's easy to be like, I just don't want to cause that much more stress. Like the more I do, the more it's going to be a burden to him. So it kind of makes you think twice about spending money and doing extra things.
Yeah. And you know, sort of jumping back.
If you're a considerate person, I feel like I am.
At times.
Maybe.
Sort of jumping back to the budget, right? And making the payment. So now here's one of the big things. Because I remember when we went on TV and shows and all that, a lot of comments, people would say, well, if I made that much money, I would be able to do that too. But we know that's not necessarily true, because regardless of how much money you make,
It's your habits.
it's your habit. So if you were, let's just say you only had an extra $50 per month, well, you would put that extra 50 towards the debt.
Right.
Or if you had an extra 5,000, would you do that? If you don't do the extra,
It's your habits.
Correct. If you don't do the extra when you have 100 extra, you're not going to do it extra when you have 10,000 extra. That's just not how it works. So how do you think, I'll let you go first. How do you think we avoided lifestyle creep, which can be a killer for most folks?
What do you mean how we avoided it?
Yeah.
Like we just had a budget and there wasn't, you mean like keeping up with the Joneses?
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, how do we, because, so.
I just don't think I've ever struggled with that. I don't think we ever struggled with looking, like I told somebody, the grass is not, they were saying the grass is not always or greener on the other side. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know the difference because I never looked. And by that, I mean, of course, you see other people doing more and being blessed and growing and whatever. But I was more of a cheerleader to that and encouraged by that than looking at it in lust. And I think that is owed to contentment. We were just always content with what we had. And during those seasons, I think that's what helped us avoid get the lifestyle creep. Or, It's just, we were content. We were happy. It wasn't, we had already gone through so much during that time anyway. So for us, it was just like, that's great for you. I know one day it'll be that way for me. So it was more encouraging than we had to keep up with that, or they're doing it and we're not doing it. We just didn't struggle with that because we just didn't have it. So it's different.
What I'm talking about,
when we started to have, and that's to my point. I convinced myself that we didn't. So I was in denial and I lied to myself so that I wouldn't be tempted. Like I kept my same budget sheets. I kept my coupon book. I just went on business as usual so that I wouldn't get used to a different manner of living. Because if you've owned businesses, you know enough. By that point, we had owned a business for a long time. You know enough that it ebbs and flows. So one month you're great, the other month you're not. So I'm not saying I was pessimistic. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying I was realistic in that maybe it'll go great for a few months. And then, like the Bible says, Joseph's story, right? 7 years of plenty, 7 years of lack, you're just waiting for the bottom to fall out, but not that God can't do it, but just being realistic and mindful. Let's not overdo ourselves. And I think we just had lived in that lifestyle for so long. It wasn't a temptation to go from living a certain way to then you're out spending money all day, every day and taking vacations every day. To me, it doesn't happen organically. Like maybe if you win the lottery or something more sure, but not when you're building a second business and starting to see it grow. You're almost waiting to see what's going to happen here. What's going to be the normal? Yeah. So we were anticipating the new normal and we didn't know what that was. So while you anticipate, you stay still. You don't do anything.
And even for me, I just wasn't.
We were cautious.
I wasn't going to.
And mind you, there was a worldwide pandemic at the time. Yeah. So
yeah, I wasn't going to just spend more money. Again, once I sort of say something, I want to see it through. So for me, it was just I need that $4,000 per month. Everything else goes over there. It doesn't matter how. So I wasn't tempted. Just the way I'm wired, when something hits my account,
we were excited. We just were
it was definitely great to see, but I just wasn't. It was just, it's going here. It's going here.
Yeah.
This goes here. This is what it is. Just because I knew, once I started dealing with it, it was just the sooner I get finished with this,
right,
the better it's going to be for everyone. And that's what really kept me motivated. I didn't want. That's why I didn't let anything like the lifestyle creep just didn't creep in with me. Like Cristina said, she was great. There was no we're making all this extra money. Can we do this? It was just, no, we're going to keep doing the same thing until it's over with. And, after a while, I think for me, we're doing it about 12 months. I basically how to explain this. I sort of fell behind a month in the payments. When I say fell behind, I just mean instead of me having $1,000 emergency fund, again, this is what I did. Instead of me having $1,000 emergency fund, I basically got rid of the extra thousand, I just put it on there. But then I wouldn't make the payment until the next month hit. So let's say I was going to pay, just making numbers up, I was going to pay $10,000. I would just wait until that next check hit, then I'll put that 10,000. So then I had that extra sort of sitting there because I was worried about like, well, what if this emergency happens? You know, again, emergency.
So we both had our realistic kind of fears.
Yeah. Yeah. Like nothing ever happened during that time. And like, even like always me personally, whenever I see the 27 months and I do the math, like, but then I probably sat on, I want to say I probably sat on about $50K for probably 3 months, just because I was just like, I was excited, I was pumped, but I was like, man, am I really gonna make this one big final payment that's gonna suck? I knew it. Talking to one of my best friends, he was like, man, just do it. What are you talking about? You've come this far, you're almost done. Just do it. And I just couldn't do it. It took me, but then one day I woke up and I said, bro, like, what are you doing? And I paid it. And instantly, I was pissed off that I had paid it because I couldn't stop it. But then, like 2 days later, when I saw it hit and Sally Mae shot me this email with like confetti, and I remember thinking like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe we did it." And I remember sitting there at the computer like tearing up by myself. I didn't tell Christina, and I remember just thinking like, I've changed something for my family. Like I've changed something for my family.
Through God's help, yeah.
And it was just a great time. So I want to give a few practical steps. I would say number one, you have to get on a zero-based budget, right? You have to do that. If you don't know what it is, just Google zero-based budget, Dave Ramsey. It'll help you, right? Every dollar has to have a job, right? So that's one. Two, you have to track your spending, right? Track your spending and then figure out the things you can cut, right? I know we always talk about eating out. We just know that's a big one for most people. So, track your spending, figure out the little holes that you can cut, because an extra $300-400 a month goes a long way when you're trying to get out of debt, right? And that just help you get out of that faster. And then a big one, you have to increase that income.
Yeah.
Right? You have to.
Even if it's just for a season.
Correct.
Depending on what your goals are.
Correct. Like, again, this is not, most people, like looking at that, most people, I know Dave Ramsey and his team at Ramsey Solutions, they keep up with all this. Most people get out of debt in about 2 years, regardless of what the amount is, right? Most people. That's because I remember hearing, I'm just like, well, we're going to be one of those people on the far end.
20 years.
But it doesn't matter. We're going to do it. And for us to do it in about 27 months was absolutely mind-blowing. And everyone has the same story. I don't know, like, I just got gazelle intense, and then I started finding ways to make money. I started finding ways to sell stuff, and I almost sold one of the kids for 30 grand. Like, you get so focused on, like, making it happen.
I think God also sees what you're doing and blesses that, like, makes it multiply. God's a multiplier. He sees your heart, he sees your intent, and if he puts someone in your heart, and he's just like a dad, right? Like he saw what we were praying for, what we were trying to do. And I think God has a lot to do more with it, because it is miraculous how quickly things change all of a sudden. Like, it's not to anybody's credit. I don't like when they used to interview us. I didn't want to do any of the interviews because everybody always wanted to give us credit. Like we had some magic potion. Everybody else is doing the same thing that we were doing. Maybe not as intense, maybe not as devoted,
they were doing the same thing I was doing.
Maybe not as devoted, but I think God is the one that provides the increase, and that's always been a strong belief of mine. There were things that happened during our season that were just outside of anything we could have done or anything that made us so special. Like, I don't think we were that special. I just think he saw our faithfulness. He decided to bless it. He saw our, prayers, our cries, and he honored that. And we were good stewards and diligent to what we were being called to do. And I think that sums it up for us.
And a big thing is, as you are increasing your income, again, I'm going to challenge you guys, it is very important to live below your means.
Right. It's all action based, right? Like you have to do the work. Like God can call you to do whatever, but if you don't do the work, it's not, just because he has a destiny for you or a goal for you or a purpose for you, if you do nothing with that talent, gift, call on your life, then it'll come to nothing because you're not doing anything. So yeah, it definitely takes us. We sacrificed a lot. We cried a lot. We sweated a lot. We didn't sleep. Half the time we didn't even eat. We were just so driven and focused, but it's not anything special, right? It just takes determination and a conviction to actually do what you're being called to do. If you feel that adamantly about it, you'll do it.
For sure.
You'll find a way. And he'll help you.
And then I would say, after you increase your income and live below your means, the final practical step I'll give you is set those money dates. Set those money dates so you and your spouse can be on the same page consistently, right? It makes it makes everything easier.
Dump it into the pot and just forget about it.
It makes everything easier.
I like to live in denial.
I know. So that everyone's.
I just make up my own world in my brain, and then that's the way I function and stay so content and happy my whole life.
Yes, because it just makes everything easier if you guys are on the same page. And
It's true.
Again, like I don't believe it's fair for like one spouse to deal with all the finance. There's just stress that comes with it. There's just stress that comes with it. So that's why I like to talk about it, because I'm okay with handling it, but I want to talk about it with you. I want to talk about how things are going.
I'm more the wife that's like, hey, can we go on this trip or do this? No? Okay. No, we don't need to talk about it.
No, that's true. But I still I want to talk about it. Like I need to.
He wants to talk about it.
I need to figure this out.
So what's here to talk about? We don't have money to go to Europe and stay for 3 months. Fine.
No.
Then I won't ask again.
We do have money to go to Europe, and we could stay for 3 months, but that wouldn't.
No, but see, I like to be told no. I'm that type of person.
No. I want to tell you.
When I'm on a diet, can I eat this? No. Can I eat this? Yes. Okay, I'll stay on that diet.
Anything on a diet.
No, I just want to be told. That's why I want a chef. Because that chef, this is what my goals are. You figure it out, and whatever you put in front of me, that's what I'll eat, and I'll be content. I'm just one of those people.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. But set those money dates so that you guys can get on.
But then you tell me no, and then you're going to on a boys' trip to, I don't know, St. Lucia.
I'm going to go snowboard.
Or snowboarding in Colorado, then let's rewind here. Why did we not have money for this, but we have money for that?
Well, if we sat and talked about it, you would have known. You would have known. I've been setting aside money for this for the last 3 months. Don't try me like
that. Just don't even try me like that.
So, hey, you have to get on the same page. So here, the 4 practical steps. 1, get on a zero-based budget. Every dollar has a job. 2, track your spending, right? Cut the leaks. Figure out where you're just spending money where you shouldn't be. Increase your income and live below your means. And 4, set those money dates so you guys can stay on the same page, right? That's important. So,
and if you're single, get with somebody that's your accountability partner.
Yeah.
They can hold you to it.
Correct. So like if you're drowning in debt, like feeling stuck, right? And you want to build like real wealth for you or you and your family, you can grab the free money date guide on our website, www.matrimoneymoney.com. Right? And start your own comeback story, right? Start it. Because you
sounds cool.
Because you can motivate some people.
We should post like people's comeback stories. That should be like a thing, like a series. The comeback series.
Okay. You're the creative director. All right. So reach out to us with your comeback story. And we can talk about it. Motivate some people. Because here's the thing. Your debt-free screen could be next. It's a beautiful thing, I'm telling you. It's a great thing.
Very liberating.
Very, very liberating. So, guys, we're going to get out of here. And as always, tell a friend to tune in. And we will chat with you guys next week. All right.